All right, everybody. Hello, my name is Ozmourn, and this is Antichamber 100%. I'm really glad to be showing this off at Shots Fired in their 10th event. So Antichamber is not like your typical shooter. You are shooting things, but they are not bullets. And essentially, what we have here is that we're going to be playing a wonderful indie puzzle game that came out in 2013, made by Alexander Bruce. And this category you can see is 100%. 100% is a lot of things. It is 120 signs that we're going to see right here. You can see that that is represented by the tracker at the bottom of my camera screen. Instead of using a camera today, I've decided to use the trackers for that space at the bottom of where my camera would be. We need to get all of the map, which is in the top of my camera spot. And in the bottom left corner of my camera spot, you're going to see the pink cube tracker, which is represented just by some white dots, but they're going to be pink when we collect stuff. And then we also have the overall percentage completion that will hopefully be at 100% by the time we get finished with this run. And so I really enjoy this game. If you're into like really abstract puzzle games, that is my bread and butter when it comes to speedrunning, and so I'm super glad to be showing this off for this because it's a very hectic run. It's a very heavy run, I will say, and has a lot to show off. So I like a lot of things to say and not a lot of time to say it. We do need to start, of course, from a fresh file in order for this run to be valid, and every journey is a series of choices. The first is to begin the journey. So the journey will begin in 3, 2, 1, go. So Antichamber 100%. The first thing that we're going to be doing is walking all the way down here, following all the way down here, down this tower, and we're going to be going and grabbing the blue gun. The blue gun is essentially the first gun that we're going to get in the game, and it's the most basic gun there is. It can only allow you to shoot and pick up one cube at a time, but that's not really a problem for what we need. Right here, we're going to be collecting our first pink cube. You have to get this pink cube first. If you don't, it will not be available for you to collect later. So obviously this is the first thing that we do in the speedrun. They will only move if you have your crosshair on them, and all you need to do is bring them to their location, and then they will be harness collected as soon as they're off screen. Right here, you're going to see a few good examples of how a lot of puzzles are based off of your camera positioning and spatial positioning in the game. For example, these windows, if you put your entire camera space on the window, it'll lead you to where the window is showing you. And so there's going to be a lot of different puzzles like that you really have to think cleverly if you're playing this casually for the first time. But of course, we as speedrunners already know how each and every single puzzle works, so it's pretty easy for us to use that to our advantage. And you're also going to be seeing me refer over to my percentage counters and my trackers in order to like know when to exit to main menu. And exiting to main menu and to the hub is actually something you're going to see me do a lot. For example, like right here, everything that I'm doing right now could technically be done in one fell swoop, but I've chosen not to do that because it's faster to just exit to main menu and choose where you want to go from the hub, because it's just less travel distance and more optimized time saves. And sometimes you are forced to leave the menu, like right there. After this section, we're going to be going up to another window that we mentioned earlier, like this, collecting another map and sign trigger. And now we're gonna have a staring contest with this eye. As we stare at this eye, you have to have your crosshair on it for about 15 seconds. We're going to be walking backwards and grabbing another map and sign trigger. Every single part of the map and every single sign you collect, you do not have to interact with the sign. You just have to be within a certain radius distance or to activate the collection trigger. So right here is leapfrog. There's technically a skip for leapfrog, but I'm very bad at the skip for leapfrog, so we're not gonna be doing the skip for leapfrog. Instead, we're just gonna be doing it normally. And now we're going to get the green gun, but we're not going to get it for long. It just allows us to create trails of cubes, like multiple cubes at a time, and collect multiple cubes at a time instead of one and one. And right here, you're actually going to be seeing me do the first instance of something called lag glitch, in which I'm purposefully going in and out of windowed mode in order to cause lag in the game. The reason that I do that is because that allows me to go back past certain triggers. You probably saw that there was a laser that I just went straight through. It was meant to close the door that I went through, but since I caused lag, I went through the laser and the game didn't really register that I went through it. And so that's something that's very useful for lag, and you're going to be seeing me do a lot of lag glitch in this run. Just timing, getting rid of this cube so that all the lasers are uncovered, and we're going to be collecting the yellow gun here. And going immediately into another huge glitch called a warp, in which I'm going to be lining myself up with a very specific place on this wall, purposefully causing lag and shooting a lot of cubes at a time, and then choosing this spot from the map. Essentially what I just did there was I shot the cubes so fast that I ended up covering up a spawn point, and then I exited to main menu, and since I exited to main menu so fast and just shot a bunch of cubes at one time, the cubes stayed there in the map and they covered up the spawn point. When you choose a spawn point from the map, the game is just like, wait, you can't be here, there are cubes here. And so instead it'll like just kick you out of the area and put you in the lobby with a gun, and it'll allow you to just literally like choose wherever you want to go from the map, including places you haven't been to before, which is why we immediately just warp to where we want to go from here. Now we've collected the red gun, and this is like the only RNG portion of the run. We're getting like kind of bad RNG right now because we want there to be enough space in order for us to enter through here and collect another map trigger at the very bottom there. And just the RNG for those orbs did not go in our favor. Another instance of lag glitch right over here to go through these lasers so that door won't close. And I didn't really explain what the yellow gun does. It does this. It allows us to like have physically move the cubes throughout space right here. And the ability from the red gun allows us to collect and shoot and like create groups of cubes like so. And right here, what I'm about to do is another glitch known as tower clip, where I'm purposefully clipping myself through walls in order to get to another room right here. The reason that that's called tower clip is actually because we're climbing up a tower. It's not the towers are numbered 1 through 8, so for example this is floor 3 of the tower, but in the actual physical level geometry of the levels, the rooms for every tower is actually right next to each other, and so you're able to just go from one part of the tower to the next by clipping through walls. But it is called the tower. It's supposed to mimic the feeling of going through the tower when you're playing it casually. We're going to come up here and we're going to go to a hidden area to grab another pink cube. Generally, the pink cubes are incredibly hidden in places that you probably did not find in your casual playthrough. And after that, we're going to be walking forward and grabbing another map and sign trigger that we need to come to later. And you see that in this like plasma barrier kind of place, I actually can't bring the cubes through. Any cubes that I have in my gun will just like immediately disappear. So you have to physically move the cubes through those plasma barriers. And that was another instance of tower clip that we did from tower 5 to tower 6. And now we're going to go immediately into another glitch known as jump storage. Essentially, it is exactly what it sounds like. You are storing the jump as soon as you fall off. For whatever reason, in Antichamber, if you fall off of a platform without having jumped previously, you will just be able to store the jump in midair. And you're going to see a pretty good example of that actually in this next room, because I'm going to fall down this tower and I'm going to be grabbing a cube and stopping myself by using jump storage and immediately placing the cube underneath me. As soon as it turns to 48.9%, we're going to go through here. And we're going to do some more jump storage actually by moving this cube up to the ceiling and then using jump storage to get to the 5th pink cube of the run right here. This one's a more obvious one that you probably did collect, and using jump storage to get over here. You have to keep jumping through this hallway after collecting the map and sign trigger, because otherwise that'll happen. It'll bring you to this area, and we don't want to go to this area quite yet until now. And now we're going to be going right here, in which we're going to be collecting another map and sign trigger by using lag glitch right there, so we don't activate those lasers. We're going to go to learning to draw, and learning to draw in itself is actually we're going to be doing that twice. Once to open up this door and grab the sign over here, and then once again right here going through, and we're going to collect all of these cubes in the very center. Oop, that's not what I wanted. Come on, there you go, perfect. And we're going to collect these cubes right here, collect this sign. And one interesting thing about the ability that we got from the yellow gun, when we move the cubes will just go in a general direction of what direction you tell them to until something stops them. And so we're going to use that to our advantage by having the cubes cover up the laser on the right while we cover up the laser on the left with the bottom trail, in order to just speed up that room as much as we can. Now we're going to go over here, and I'm actually going to introduce you to another glitch known as cube chambering, in which if you right click, left click, and then let go of right click after walking through a plasma barrier, you were able to save 1 cube through your gun, but it only works with 1 cube at a time. And now we're going to go down here to this elevator, collect another map and sign trigger, and then we're going to go back here and activate these lasers. Hopefully the game does not feel like cooperating with me. Thank you. Perfect. And around this part of the run is actually where I like to talk about the different rebindings that we have, primarily because I have a few rebindings that make this game a lot easier. For example, I have escape, rebound to Q. I have scroll wheel down, rebounding to shoot the cubes, and scroll wheel up, rebounds to collecting the cubes. And F11, which is what I do to go in and out of windowed mode, is rebound to a part of my mouse, like a button on my mouse. And we've allowed all of these different rebindings in order to make the speed run like a lot easier and a lot more accessible when it comes so you don't have to like reach across your keyboard in order to do really simple tricks. And that combined with the resources that we have, such as the trackers, so just makes this a really replayable speed run. Oops, come on. One thing that's interesting here is you're noticing that the cubes in this area are actually colored blue. That's because this is the tutorial section of the run. This is actually the first room they're supposed to do after you get the blue gun. And because the cubes are blue, because the game thinks you should have the blue gun right now, the cubes are blue. It's going to be whatever color the cubes are is corresponds to whatever gun the games think you should have right now. But since we have the red gun, we're able to swap. Oh wow, okay. I can't say that that's never happened before, because it has, but like I didn't think it would happen today. But thankfully that just means I don't have to like go down that path anymore. But actually, just in case, because I didn't check if I collected that map down there, I'm going to like actually go here again, because you want to go through like that. Okay, perfect. And now we are going to fill up these lasers and use cube chambering in order to save one cube through here to activate that laser. And we're going to use this exact same cube in order to go into this room instead. Go to a room that wasn't there before, as usual. And now the game is going to tell us to not look down, but we're going to look down anyway because we need to collect some stuff. And this is about halfway through the run in terms of time. In terms of percentage, it does say 70%, but I promise you the last 30% takes a long time. And now we're going to go up here to taking baby steps. You need to jump through here so you don't fall through this pit, and grabbing one more sign and map trigger right here. And now we're going to go up here to impossible pads. We're going to grab some stuff from and use it as a bridge across WTF, and using jump storage in order to get some more distance here, using these exact same cubes, and we're going to use them as a wall to prevent us from getting launched over here. And this is a puzzle that kind of works inversely to what we've usually seen. And what you want is actually to get rid of the cubes and make sure that all of the lasers are uncovered. And the way you do that is by like collecting a cube and then having another cube take its place, so the first original cubes won't come back. Now you're going to go to hitting a wall, and they're going to be going down here, and we're going to be moving this cube. And if you split a group of cubes into two separate parts, whichever part is smaller is the part that's just going to disappear in its entirety. And so we use that to our advantage to do that puzzle right there. This next section has a lot of up and down and like all around. Oh, come on, game. There you go. Sometimes it likes to be finicky with like the way that you activate certain triggers. Come on. There we go. Perfect. And this next section is actually going to have a glitch that I'm really hoping I get first try, because it's pretty impressive if I do. We're going to immediately shoot these cubes and then immediately quit. Oh, amazing. And we did hub storage too. Essentially what hub storage is that I shot the cubes out of my gun and immediately quit to menu, and I shot them so fast that the game didn't really know what to do, and it refunded me some of the cubes that I shot. And the reason that that's helpful is because it just allows you to store cubes through the hub, which is why it's called hub storage. And typically speaking, when you like go to the hub and you just get rid of all of your cubes in your gun. But if you just create that glitch and shoot a bunch of cubes really fast and then quit to main menu, you were able to store cubes through the hub instead, which is a very wonderful thing. I might be able to show that off later, depending on if I need to use the backup again. Use it as a backup. And right there was elevator clip. You clip through the elevator. It's as simple as it sounds. You just use a cube to push yourself through the elevator, because the elevator will go up, and so the cube will just be pushed downwards. We're going to grab that map's trigger that we're actually going to be coming to later and going back to Stairway to Heaven, and we'll grab another part of the map right here that we're also going to come back to later. I didn't miss momentum, and now we have to do the slow part of just there we go, perfect. And now we are going to go back here and collect one more pink cube underneath these stairs and just gliding back up because we want to save a few cubes for this room. We're going to create a group of cubes over there and then collect it on the other side, because again, we can't take the cubes through the plasma barrier. We're going to be moving this cube back in order to put the elevator down, stopping it because we want to go up to this room actually. And we're going to be using these cubes to fill up these lasers, to cover up these lasers, and open this door using jump storage to go down here and collect the map and sign trigger, but not fall into the room. And here, oh, thank you, game. Here we're actually going to be is a pretty good example of how like it's pretty difficult to maintain your momentum but also be accurate with your shots, like so. Usually because I like to get like really close, up close and personal with some of the holes in the wall in order to make sure that I am aiming and shooting these in the right place. I took it a bit risky there and quite clearly didn't pay off. And now we're going to go to Too Many Leaps, and this particular puzzle, it's actually the next two puzzles that we're going to be seeing, they're technically supposed to be solved in different ways. They're the same puzzle, but this first puzzle has green cubes, which means you're meant to have the green gun casually. And so what the solution that we did right there is not technically the solution that we're supposed to be using. And now we can just go up with the red cube here. We're going to cube chamber this cube because we want to come up here and grab this map and time trigger. You want to walk backwards so that you collect it, but the game doesn't transport you to another area. This particular puzzle is kind of annoying. It's similar to a puzzle that we saw earlier, but this time it has windows next to the cubes, and so like it's sometimes it wants to be really finicky and not move the cube, which is annoying. And again, like I said earlier, the green cube puzzle and this puzzle are the exact same puzzle, but of course, since we have the red gun, we're able to solve it the faster way both times. Oh, what was that? What was that movement? Okay. What I meant to do there was trying to use jump storage in order to jump on a small platform that we made over there. Let's see if we can try that again. We want to make a platform in this corner and then a small platform in that corner. And whoa, okay. I can't say that I haven't messed this up before because I have in marathon settings. It's just really weird when you do, because it's like some of the most simple movement in the game, like just jump storage. Oh my goodness, I'm not gaining momentum that I usually have. Again, I wish I could say that I haven't messed this up before, but I definitely have. It's something that you think is so simple, but it's easily something you can mess up. There we go, that's what you want to do. And right here we're going to make a small tower of cubes, 4 cubes high, and then we're going to creating 3 walls of cubes in here to cover up all of these lasers. And 91.2% is exactly where we want to see right now. We're going to go here to a jump too far, and you can just barely grab this cube, just barely, and have it touch the rest of these cubes so you immediately just make them disappear. And now we're going to be performing another warp in order to skip the chase sequence. Here in learning to draw, let's see if we can get the warp first try. Again, we're going to be just shooting a bunch of cubes, creating lag, and then hopefully right here we can just go back in, and perfect, we did it first try. And we got hub storage. Amazing, beautiful, that's what we like to see. Hub storage, the warp and hub storage at the same time is like doing that trick perfectly. And now we're going to be just moving on, and because we wanted at least 1 cube in order to open the last door to activate the last map trigger, because we're going to come back to the map trigger once we've like finished everything. And now we're going to be coming down here, and we're going to be jumping down. And a lot of what I'm doing right now, like we're just going through this long passageway in order to grab 1 sign trigger at the very end, and it's this one right here. But now we're in the cleanup section of the run. Every 100% run has to have a cleanup section, and we're going to be going back to a few places that we've already been to before in order to like get a few map triggers and actually get some more pink cubes, like right here. This is the chase sequence we saw earlier. If you walk backwards to the sign, to the wall, or to the door, I should say, you were able to grab 1 more pink cube here. We only need 1 cube here, and this is a cube that we technically could have gone earlier at Deja Vu, but like there's really no way that we could have like routed this in without it, you having to go out of your way inconveniently to go get it, and so we just put it at the end. That's kind of the thing in common that we have with a lot of these cubes, where it's just like we don't, a lot of the stuff that we're collecting right now is just stuff that we would have to go out of our way to do anyway, and so like it just doesn't, like, it just doesn't really fit in anywhere in the run, and so we just put it at the end and we're like, good enough. We're gonna have to physically move all these cubes through. It's kind of annoying because you need 2 cubes at the end here, but you can only cube chamber within 1 cube at a time, and you can't cube chamber if you're in the plasma barrier, which is unfortunate. And so like cube chambering is useless in that case. And now we're going to be collecting the last few map triggers. And one special thing that we're going to be seeing actually is that after being an entrepreneur, we're going to be grabbing the final pink cube of the run, and it's also the longest pink cube in the game. It's technically supposed to be the first one you collect, but in order to like teach you the mechanic of how pink cubes work, but it's this one right here in 3 paths in sight, and it's just one long trail. It's just one long, we have to walk through this entire room. This takes exactly 90 seconds to get. One interesting thing about this category and also all pink cubes is that you can only play on 60 FPS, because if you play on anything higher than that, the cubes will move faster, which is an unfortunate thing, because we don't want to like make it, we didn't want to make it so like if the more powerful of a CPU you have, the faster the cubes move and the faster time you get, like it's nothing. We don't want to like limit people like that, so we do have a 60 FPS cap that is required for this category. At this point in the run, you probably know if you're going to PB, unless you miraculously mess up like the last 2 tricks, or like the last, not even the last 2 tricks, the last 1 trick and some movement, which is incredibly unlikely. But like at this point, you probably will be able to know if you're going to PB. And you can also like just reflect throughout the run. We have a few more signs to get, and a few more signs to get, and like just 1 or 2 more parts of the map, and then we'll be solid. This has been like a decent run. I can't really think of one particular thing that really went wrong, except for in Logic 101, but even then that wasn't that huge of a mistake. Yeah, that it's pretty decent, pretty solid. I really enjoyed it. But now we've collected the final pink cube, and we're going to just collect a few more maps and sign triggers. And you're also seeing me enter rooms weirdly, because when it exits main menu, it'll just have me face whatever direction is relative to the map, and so it'll, if you exit the right way, it'll just have you facing straight to the map the moment you get to the hub. So I have good news and bad news. The good news is we have 1 more sign to collect. The bad news is that it's behind a timer in the hub, and we do have to wait for 1 hour and 8 minutes, which is an unfortunate thing. But I hope you guys are comfortable, because we're going to be here for quite some time. Yeah. But no, really, we do have a way around this. We can just like crash the game, as one does naturally. But the reason that I have to do that is I have to exit the game, because I clipped through the hub. If you exit back to the hub and then immediately turn left in that specific position, you can clip through the wall and collect the sign, the final sign of the game. But you cannot like exit to the hub, because the game thinks you're already in the hub. And so in order to like actually, oh my god, I did the thing, I got stuck on the edge. Come on, game, thank you. In order to like finish the run, you are required to like exit to main menu and then restart the game, because you're kind of just hard locked or soft locked in that position. And so timing will end when I shoot the black cube into the pedestal in 3, 2, 1, time. Yeah, that is Antichamber 100%. I'm just going to change this real quick. There we go. Perfect. That's Antichamber 100%. And I'm hoping that y'all enjoyed that run, because it's pretty hectic. I absolutely love this run to bits. I am like the only person that even relatively runs it. Before me, the only person that ran it was a person that had ran it back in 2013. So I was the first person who had ran it in 8 years when I first started picking it up in 2021. And I'm pretty lucky to have shown this off into a lot of marathons, including AGDQ. And so I am super happy that I've been able to show this off, and I hope that it gets more attention. If you're interested in running, you can DM me on Discord, because I'm like the only person that can run this right now and teach people. look us up on speedrun.com, join the Discord server, download this game yourself, even if you're gonna play it casually. If you really like puzzle games, this is like the perfect puzzle game for you. If you like hectic speedruns, you can learn this speedrun. If you like completionist speedruns and glitch heavy speedruns, you can learn this speedrun too. I think it's probably one of the most entertaining things that I have in my back pocket. So that is all for me for Antichamber 100%. I am hoping that y'all enjoy the rest of the marathon, and good luck to Asuka424 for Resogun up next. She is great. You guys will love her, and I'm hoping y'all have a wonderful rest of the marathon and a wonderful good night if you're where I am right now, and probably will go to sleep after this. So I'll see y'all later. Thank you so much for watching.